Yep, that just about does it. Shakur Stevenson officially joins Eddie Hearn in Rematch Room. Eddie Hearn makes it official on his verified social media. I'm going to break it down, give the ego thoughts, something light. Eddie Hearn, he just took to his social media and he says, "You have heard me say for years just how special this young man is, and that was even before signing him." Eddie Hearn says on his verified page, "I believe Shakur Stevenson is a generational great. 27 years old, 3-division world champ, and he's hardly getting out of first gear. Welcome to the team, champ. Let's work." You see that? Welcome to the team, champ. Let's work. Included is a picture of, man, how you turn this off? Hey, yo. Get this Gronk stuff off here, cuz. My bad. Included is a picture of Eddie Hearn and Shakur Stevenson. Hey, Twitter be bugging sometimes. And then it says, Rematch Room, welcome to the team, Shakur Stevenson. So congratulations, Shakur has made it official. Welcome to the team. And, at this point, I don't really know the nature of this agreement. I heard it was one fight, but who knows? So I'll allow Shakur or the information, if Eddie Hearn or whatnot does an interview, to go into full detail as far as how long of a contract. I heard Shakur wants to do kind of like Devin Haney, where he doesn't want to necessarily do a long-term commitment. But again, don't quote me on that. We shall see. I will update you as soon as the information becomes available. So Shakur has left free agency and at least for one fight teamed up with Eddie Hearn. And Rematch Room, Eddie Hearn says, let's work. Listen, my thoughts have pretty much been the same. Shakur versus Joe Cordina is a terrible fight. I got so many videos coming to flame this fight. I don't like it. There's nothing I like about it. You're fighting a guy coming off a loss, and not only just because we know, I've been watching boxing my whole life. Not all losses are made equal. This is not like Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, or Danny Garcia versus Sean Porter, where you could argue for either guy. It's not kind of thing like that. He got TKO'd. He got hurt in round 3, and Cordina is in a lighter weight class moving up, and he was getting battered. So legit, I don't see what this does for Shakur. See, when I say these things, you got people that get mad. They say, "Oh, Boxing Ego, you're hating." I have no reason to hate on anybody. Some people are like, "Oh, you're just jealous. Shakur's making money." Bro, I make my own money. Shakur makes his money. Money don't make the man. I don't really care about none of that. I'm still going to speak my truest thoughts on here. I don't care if he make more money than me or not. What does that got to do with anything? It's just not a good fight. And it's not, the thing is, when you're a Shakur Stevenson, he is talented. So you're always going to be held to a higher standard than like a journeyman. Why would we not hold Shakur to a higher standard? And then coupled with the fact that Shakur talks a lot. Shakur's like, "Oh, these dudes can't see me. Oh, I'm Shakur. Oh, I'm the best. Me and Tank are the best." Right? You talk a lot. So people are going to definitely expect you to back up what you're dishing out. There's no way fighting Joe Cordina under the current circumstances can do that. What's worse is for Shakur Stevenson, you're fighting on somebody's undercard, bro. This, to me, gets you away from the lane I would imagine you would want to work your way up to, which is like pay-per-view, household name, stardom. And to be honest, Shakur, I think, has rubbed people the wrong way in his last several fights and Twitter rants and saying, "I don't care about y'all, F the fans," and, just acting like that. Because it's one thing, let's say Terrence Crawford, because he's pretty standoffish against the media and also boxing fans. But the major difference between Shakur Stevenson and Terrence Crawford is whether you like Crawford's personality, whether you like Crawford's attitude, whether Crawford's like F the media, F the fans, despite any of that, Crawford is a finisher and a terrific fighter, and his fights are fun to watch. So he at least, like, if you're going to be cocky, or if you're going to be standoffish, or if you're going to be a hermit, at least be an entertaining fighter at that, at least in the sport of boxing, right? But you can't do what Shakur has done and like threaten to retire, say, oh, these fans, they don't appreciate me, I'm retiring. When he did that, people said, good, stay retired, or boxing is better without you. These were the comments that I was reading while Shakur was saying he was retired. And I told you that was cap. I told you he wasn't retired. And then, of course, it was cap, and he's already come back and fought a time or two since that. So he got in his feelings, he got in his emotions, said he was retired. It was very short-lived. And people, you can't threaten somebody. It's like, it reminds me of Lil Pump, right? Lil Pump recently said if Kamala wins, then he's moving out the country. Who's listening to Lil Pump in 2024? So you threatening anybody with anything and threatening to leave the country, you look at the comments, people's like, good, leave. Why wait? Leave right now. So you can't do that unless you're like sought out and desired. Like, you have to be like on top of your game. Like if Michael Jordan, when he left basketball in the NBA and took a break and then went and started playing baseball, I mean, he was the #1 basketball player, jersey sales galore. So that's a huge loss to the NBA, and fans felt the type of way. But for Shakur Stevenson, like I said, his behavior, his recent performances kind of rubbed people the wrong way. So it's not the same level of threat to retire and say, oh, I'm done with you, or I'm not fighting with the fans. You're just ticking people off more. So I'm noticing boxing is looking pretty fragmented, where it's like certain promoters, they're just desperate to get any type of brand or any type of name. There's no real like game plan long term. There's no real succession plan. Like, if the rumors are true and Shakur is signing for a 1-fight deal, what does that really do? Okay, you're putting him on the Saudi Arabia card, on the undercard, against a guy that it literally is not going to do anything should Shakur win, which he's definitely favored to win. I would favor him to beat Joe Cordina moving up, right? So what is the real game? It's not like he in that card, coming off of 2 other performances that people didn't seem like they admired. How does it really enhance the card? And you have boxing fans who they want to be like Boxing Ego, but you also have some that want to be like Boxing Ego, but they want to be right. So they want to start their own narratives. And people are saying stuff like, Turkey, he's the savior. He saved boxing. He wants what's best for boxing. He's putting on the fights the fans want to see. What fight, though? Because it's certainly not Shakur versus Cordina. Name one person that's not from the UK. Oh, yeah, mate, you're slagging your belly. That's not from the UK, bruv, that said they wanted to see Shakur, an American name that we've known since he was a teenager, versus some Joe Cordina. Name somebody who's of prominence in the sport that said, hey, if Shakur could fight anybody. Pitbull Cruz just lost. If you're going to fight a guy off a loss, I'd rather see you fight a guy like Pitbull Cruz. You know what I mean? And it's not adding up what you guys are telling me. You guys said Turkey has an endless bankroll, but if that's the case, you look at the Better Be of Bevo undercard. If you have an endless bankroll, you mean to tell me there was not a single better fight where you could have paid somebody to fight Shakur Stevenson better than Cordina? Like, honestly. It might cost you a little bit more because Shakur is a good fighter, so there's a chance that, depending on who the fighter is, they might think they will lose. But that's what the money's for. The money's to entice him. So to be honest, you got a lot of people like Shakur, like Jaron Ennis, and they're teaming up with Eddie Hearn or teaming up with Turkey or Terrence Crawford. And you have to ask yourself, in teaming up with Eddie Hearn, in teaming up with Turkey, are their fights substantially better than what they had with their previous employer? So, for example, Crawford fighting Madrimov, is that much better than, I know it's not better than the Errol Spence fight in terms of the collective event. So we'll say Top Rank because Crawford spent most of his time. Is that much better than the Mean Machines of the world and Sean Porter late in his career and Kell Brook? Probably not. Look at Shakur Stevenson. Shakur versus Cordina. Is this substantially better than the looks and the names that Top Rank was giving Shakur? The Oscar Valdez's, the Robson Conceição's, the Artem Haratunians that you see on the screen, the Edwin De Los Santos. No. So that's a regression. You look at Jaron Ennis. When he was with PBC, he was fighting Delorme, Van Herdeens, or not PBC, Showtime. Let's correct that. When Jaron Ennis was with Showtime, but he was on PBC cards, he was fighting the likes of the people I named, Delorme's and the Villas and stuff. Is him fighting Karen, a guy he fought on a Tank undercard and beat 120 to 108, is that substantially better than David Avanesian and Karen Part 2? No. I like the Villa fight better than both of those fights with Eddie Hearn. So what the point I'm making is you got fighters who are basically selling out and, you know, they're trying to go where the money's at. All the while they're claiming and screaming, I'm the best and nobody wants to fight me and stuff like that. But that's not the case. That's not the case at all. You know what I mean? You can't be called the boogeyman if people are calling you out. You can't say no one wants to fight me and people are saying they want to fight you and your team won't make them a fair offer or pay like they weigh to get it done. So for me, I don't want to hear anything else about Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis because we continue to see this pattern. You see guys call out PBC fighters, but then they don't want to go to PBC even when they become eligible or free agents. That's not making any sense, right? If I want the ingredients to make a burger, I don't go to Best Buy. I don't go to Home Goods. Why would I go to Home Goods and I need sesame seed buns, I need ground beef, I need cheese, I need mayo? Home Goods doesn't have that. Best Buy doesn't have that. So you would never in real life go to these places when you need food. If you need food, you go to a place that provides that. Shakur says he wants Tank, but he's not going to the spot that Tank is at. Right? Right. It just makes all the sense in the world. So you were with Top Rank, you were bogged down. You couldn't do anything. You had a contract. You owed them so many fights. Your first foray into free agency, you team up with Eddie Hearn, and whatever. That's your personal business, who you want to team up with, but you can't have it both ways. You can't team up with Eddie Hearn. He provides you what he could provide you, which is Cordina and you fighting on the undercard, and you're like, sounds good to me, but you're screaming Tank. And the other thing is, let's be real. This doesn't bridge the gap between you and Tank. Tank has already surpassed you in every way. Makes more money than you. He's more desired. His fights are more anticipated. Imagine Tank. Listen, if what I'm saying is not the truth, then you guys, god dang it, you gonna prove it in the comment section. Imagine Tank in 2024 fighting on somebody's undercard. It wouldn't happen. Not right now. Tank got the juice right now. He's not fighting on somebody undercard. But Shakur Stevenson is. Imagine Tank Davis fighting on a Thursday, but Shakur Stevenson does. These are the facts. So to me, you're making money. They're overpaying you for the name or whatnot. That part is cool. But this literally does nothing to move you towards your public boxing goals, which is to fight the best and fight Tank and things like that. So for me, the move doesn't really make sense. Now, it's not my move to make, but it's my channel, so I can say what I want to say on my channel. I'm not impressed. It doesn't make sense. And I don't think, like, the goal, like, for example, and I love to give you guys these analogies, really because I'm the best in the business. I don't stutter and stammer. There's a lot of people that when they do videos and they put out content, they're stuttering, stammering, making up stuff, lying, clickbait. You guys see it. The audio is bad. The audio sounds distorted. The visuals don't make sense or bad quality. And people are just rushing to put out lies. On my channel, I've been in here. We're working in a different direction. And that's to put out reliable, accurate, high quality content and express myself fully. I feel great when I do that. If I gave you guys subpar, I wouldn't feel good. But I know I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. So I love it, and I feel great. But back to the Shakur Stevenson thing. You can't be screaming out tank, but you're doing moves that don't bridge the gap, but create more of a gap. Point blank, period. You have to be looking at what gets you closer to your goals. I like to give you guys analogies, so here's one. If a person says they need and want to lose 50 pounds, you know the ways that you can lose weight. You can look at each decision that you're making per day and then decide, does that align with my goals? So me eating a triple bacon double cheeseburger, if the intent is to lose 50 pounds and that one burger is going to put you over your caloric limit for the day, and you're eating fries with it, ranch, all this type of stuff, you're getting a Starbucks, you know that's pushing you further from your goal. That's why if you're disciplined, you wouldn't do that. So that's what I'm on. Say what you mean. If you want to lose 50 pounds, it's doable. But it's not doable if you are eating more and you're not in a caloric deficit. There's no way scientifically that you'll lose weight if you're eating more than you're burning. Common sense. So as it relates to Shakur Stevenson, you're saying one thing. You're screaming out Tank. Oh, I want to fight Tank. Oh, we're the best. But your moves aren't bringing you closer to Tank. Fighting Cordina does nothing. Legit does nothing for you. Doesn't make Tank like, oh, he it's like almost like you haven't had back-to-back performances that shocked the world or set the world on fire. So it's like they're almost trying to give you a potential knockout, a domestic level dude that you might be able to knock out because he's coming up in weight off of a knockout. It's like they're trying to spoon feed you a knockout to help your star power. But Tank is not stupid. His team is not stupid. Real recognizes real. It looks like a mismatch. The timing is bad. So it's really not going to help Shakur Stevenson by beating Cordina in terms of bridging the gap. It'll just show us, okay, Shakur, you got to be on a certain level to contend with Shakur. But you're not going to tell me that if Turkey and Eddie Hearn have all this money, that there were 20 other names that I can think of, legit, I can think of probably like 15, 20 names in or around 35, 40 that would all make for better fights, that would be more challenging for Shakur, that people would want to see. And you might be able to argue away a few of them, say, oh man, William Zepeda, his wife is pregnant, so he's not able to fight on that date. But you're not going to be able to do that with everybody. Point blank, period. Murataya, his team's on Twitter right now saying that they want to work. That's a way better fight. Turkey has worked with top-ranked fighters like Jared Anderson, who got cooked by Martin Bacoli. He's worked with Eddie Hearn, like Israel Madrimov fighting Crawford. So it's really an unacceptable fight. And you teaming up with Matchroom just looks like a cash grab, and it doesn't look like a long-term thought-out move for Shakur Stevenson that really benefits him, and it doesn't justify what he's been saying. You say you want Lomachenko, you say you want Tank, you say you want the big names. You didn't pick a big name. You're not even picking a name at all, and you're not even picking a guy off a win. So it is what it is. You let me know what you guys think of Shakur teaming up with Eddie Hearn and fighting Cordina in the comments. Church.